Welcome back to the Crypto's Key Conversation. I'm trying to be brief in this one. There's been a lot of stuff we've been covering on this channel, especially when it comes to the Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX debacle that's been happening and kind of plaguing our industry here. But I just wanted to quickly touch on a few things, and we'll get back into it tomorrow. But this is from James K. Fallon. It says, Judge Torres has granted motions to file amicus briefs by November 18, 2022. The association's 6 XRP holders, Coinbase, the CCI, Valhill, Cryptillion, VeriDAO, Reaper Financial, Invest Ready, NSEI, and Paradigm must file their formal briefs. Coming over here, there's this picture up Sherry had put up. It says Amicus Curiae, the I Remit, TapJets, Chamber of Digital Commerce, ICANN, Spin the Bits, Blockchain Association, Deaton, Coinbase, CCI, Valhill, Cryptillion, VeriDAO, Reaper, Accredify, New Sports Economy Institute, and Paradigm Operations. And I think there's like a total of 16, 13 being on Ripple side, one's neutral, and then I think the others are on the SEC's behalf. But this is huge, man, to see this many briefs coming through at this point of litigation. Apparently it's like a big deal. That's absolutely huge. So we're just a waiting game to kind of see what happens. Speaking of, man, there was this whole debacle with Fox and this whole expected settlement tomorrow. It came out that it was false. It says Ripple just told Eleanor Terry that it's false. And I know it's been kind of put through the Twitterverse here, and the community's been talking about it. But this whole settlement expected tomorrow is a false narrative that's been put out there. And crazy thing is, if we come over here, XRP had a 15% pump. I mean, this was at 33 cents. I think it hit like a high of like 38, 39 cents. So there's people talking about like XRP Crypto was saying, like, why was XRP pumping in the Ripple settlement news when the Ripple settlement news was supposedly fake? I mean, it could be a lot of things. Obviously, you have, smaller players within the market not really knowing, all the news. They may just hear, there's a settlement coming, and they all start buying. Obviously, more development, and then you also have you have Ripple Swell coming up. You got speakers. Obviously, there's probably some price action going on with this. Maybe good news of kind of what's going on, with the company and what's going on, just in growth in general. So there could be a lot of different factors of why XRP had pumped. But even if we zoom out a little bit, I mean, we have some other big gainers too. Let me see if I can click it. I don't want anything crazy. Quant 30%, Chronos, XRP 15. Lido DAO. I mean, there's some double digit gainers here. So obviously with a massive drop, I think we had like a 30-something% drop in XRP in particular, but now we're up 15, still down 18% though in the 7-day period. So I don't know. I don't look too far into it until I hear it from the horse's mouth themselves, like Rag on the House or one of the judges or something, or John Deaton comes out and says something. So there was people just bashing the lady who was kind of nodding her head and agreeing about this whole settlement thing. I mean, just a bunch of drama and nonsense that's kind of been put out there. I'm not going to get too far into it. I'm sure you've probably seen it, but I wanted to throw that up there. What was interesting is Sam Bankman-Fried here. This was at, what was this, November 13th at 7:01 p.m. Just tweeted what? And then down here it says HAPPEN. What happened? I mean, trolling or what? John Deaton says, if this really is you tweeting, then you may actually suffer from narcissistic personality disorder and might believe that you aren't going to prison. I mean, straight up. I mean, if that is, that's shameful. I just put like, oh boy, with my, like shame. Stuart OKeefe had a good tweet. He's responding to a tweet thread. He's responding to Jeff Robertson. It says, I connected some dots between Sam Bankman-Fried, Gensler, and the Democrats. Hard to believe that Gary Gensler blew it again and now wants more money and power. So Stuart OKeefe says, investigators should ask why was Gary Gensler acting alone with meeting with Sam Bankman-Fried? Was this a last gasp effort to finally manufacture that every elusive SEC registration the chair has been after? Would Sam Bankman-Fried have ended up with even more consumer assets under his control? He continues, if the SEC was actually crypto lawful, cop on the beat, there would be no need for the chair to repeatedly cajole market participants to come in and register. Regulators with proper jurisdictions do not need to cajole. I mean, I'm struggling with that word. Bully and enter into backroom deals. That's why regulation by enforcement has been the SEC's go-to. The torture enforcement process itself is the punishment, which is why most settle. With settlement in hand, the SEC then pretends it has a lawful jurisdiction when all it really has is coerced surrender, which has led to the disastrous consequences. For example, in February, the SEC trumpeted its $100 million BlockFi settlement in a community commitment by BlockFi to register with the SEC, but BlockFi couldn't afford to pay the fine and nothing was ever registered. Instead, BlockFi was allowed by who to be rescued by Sam Bankman-Fried, who, if reports are true, got access to BlockFi's assets, including customer deposits. And once again, the bankruptcy lawyers are getting rich while consumers are left holding the bag. Calls for investigation to Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX are entirely warranted given the fallout. However, the investigation shouldn't obscure that market havoc and consumer harm the SEC continues to create in the absence of regulatory clarity in the U.S. Straight up, I 100% agree with this. And I had retweeted this right here saying Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX devastation has put a huge spotlight on Gary and the SEC. And I 100% agree. Obviously, we've been trying to apply pressure as a decentralized community. And, there's other players out there. And I talk about all the time with, Jason Foster, Empower Oversight, Charles Gasparino, Eleanor Terrett, Johnny Deaton, the class action lawsuit, and just the decentralized community in general, YouTubers. We're trying our best here and to get more eyes and a bigger spotlight on SEC. The SEC and Chairman Gensler is huge. So we'll kind of see how things roll out. This is what Johnny Dean's responding to the Wolf of Wall Street. It says Coinbase approached the SEC about offering a 4% yield product. They received no clarity. Instead, they received a threat of litigation. Meanwhile, Celsius, Voyager, and BlockFi were allowed to offer 10% interest products while gambling with user funds. Good job, Gary. John D says, absolute disgrace. Why? Because Gary Gensler is a puppet for the incumbent banks. We've been saying that on this channel, and it's been quite evident based on, the facts and kind of how things been played out and, his actions and his words alone. This is Library responding to this screenshot here. Says U.S. senators commit to advancing crypto bill despite FTX collapse. The two U.S. senators said that the downfall of FTX clearly exemplified the need for greater federal oversight in the digital asset industry. So Library says congressmen that were elected via stolen funds given to them by a con man are going to pass a bill written by that same con man, using that con man's conning as justification. It is impossible to have too low of an opinion of the U.S. government. Shameful, man. This is shameful that this is a real thing. This is some positive out of it. CZ from Binance says, to reduce further cascading negative effects of FTX, Binance is forming an industry recovery fund to help projects who are otherwise strong but in a liquidity crisis. More details to come soon. In the meantime, please contact Binance Labs if you think you qualify. Also, welcome other industry players with cash who wants to co-invest. Crypto is not going away. We are still here. Let's rebuild. And XRP Crypto Wolf hit on the head here. It says hashtag Ripple and Binance are single-handedly saving the entire crypto industry. I mean, definitely making a massive impact. I mean, with this space and with the writing on the wall and seeing, what this space has to offer and solving real world problems, especially when you have the legitimate projects trying to do things the right and just way. It's super exciting to see the growth that's lies ahead for this space. I mean, we're under $1 trillion market cap. We're under 900 billion. It's super early. Last thing I wanted to say is there's been a lot of talks about like what to do with your digital assets on, exchanges and stuff. You just got to be very careful. I'm just going to tell you mine in particular, because that's the whole purpose of this channel, is just to kind of give you my personal take on the market, what's been going on in the news, talk about my personal experiences, even the good and bad. And just for me personally, I only put, whether I'm trading or trying to, buy a specific digital asset, I only put, a very, very, very small allocation of my portfolio on an exchange, and I do not leave it on there at the risk of losing it. So educate yourself, do everything in your power to educate yourself on self-custodying, whether that's a hot wallet, like a mobile wallet or something, or a cold storage on like a Ledger Nano, whatever the case is. It's extremely vital that you educate yourself and you protect your assets, because that saying that they say, I know it's kind of annoying and cheesy, say not your keys, not your crypto. It's so true. Okay. Really take care of yourself. There's been a lot of people who have been wrecked, obviously, by, a lot of these platforms and exchanges going down as well. So protect yourself. But that's what I have for you. Make sure you come to the Crypto is Key Conversation YouTube channel. Subscribe, follow us on Twitter at Crypto is Key 1. I really appreciate you guys' support out there. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.